Brought to you by Dehancer. Use the promo code RABBIT to receive 10% off Dehancer products. Dehancer.com.
People are calling this one a front runner. Hamnet. This is Chloe Zhao's film. You know, from what I've seen, how people feel about this. Like, I talked to somebody this weekend who was like, I've seen this film 3 times. I want to see it again. So what were your impressions of Hamnet?
I was cautious at first. As a bit of context, every month, or at least when I can, I do a column on my blog called "This Film Is Not Yet Watchable," where I basically just make fun of trailers for bad movies that are coming out that month. And I almost included Hamnet on there for last November because when I saw the trailer, the way it was presented is like it's like, oh, look at the epic romance that inspired one of Shakespeare's greatest works. Like, so it's Shakespeare in Love again? No, thank you. Not that that's a bad movie, but it definitely didn't deserve to win Best Picture, and it's definitely become more of a meme in recent years than it has been a beloved classic. But at the same time, Chloe Zhao is a tremendous director. For the sake of that argument, we'll pretend Eternals doesn't exist. um, but she's really good at capturing emotion and really getting the best out of her actors to convey the tone of any given scene. So it's like, okay, I'll give this a chance, and thankfully, it is much better than Shakespeare in Love. It's like, so this is based on a book by Maggie O'Farrell. She co-wrote the screenplay with Zhao as well, where it kind of imagines a scenario about Shakespeare's wife, Anne Hathaway. She's called Agnes here because there are some historical records that refer to her as such. It focuses much more on her than on Shakespeare. In fact, Paul Mescal plays William Shakespeare, and pointedly, he's not named as a character until the final scenes. Chloe Zhao has that kind of respect for her audience's intelligence to just kind of understand who this guy is. Like, we don't need to just say, like, oh, there's Bill Shakespeare. Like, we don't need to worry about that. It's much more important to introduce Agnes and whoever as a character than it is to go into Shakespeare's backstory, because there's not much known about Anne Hathaway other than just the basic historical records of their marriage and her death and her children, and that sort of thing. It was the 1600s. We didn't, spoiler alert, we didn't have the internet back then. So Maggie O'Farrell's book is kind of like a reimagining of what it was like for her as a mother to lose her child, and then how Shakespeare potentially used his grief to process it through his art in creating the play Hamlet. The film even opens with text saying, like, back in early 17th century England, Hamnet and Hamlet were essentially interchangeable names. So there's a little bit of ambiguity there where you're kind of meant to infer that, oh, then Hamlet's totally based on Hamnet, but it really is just a statement of fact. People just wrote the N's as L's sometimes. Like, it's not, it's very sterile as far as an actual historical fact. So that's the big thing to remember going in, because it's presented as if this is all historical fact, and it's not. It's based on a fictional book. It's a fantasy. It's a very good one, but it's never really. There's nothing in the film that says, hey, this is what might have happened, or wouldn't it be cool if this is what happened? Wouldn't this, get some tears out of you? So you could argue there's a little bit of dishonesty there, but for the most part, it didn't bother me. Jessie Buckley plays Agnes, and she is tremendous. She's the front runner for Best Actress right now. I've been a fan of hers for the last 5 years. I think one of the first reviews I did here on the show was for I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which was her and Jesse Plemons on Netflix during the pandemic, a Charlie Kaufman film, and that was the first time I had seen her, and I was blown away. And I've been a fierce advocate for her ever since. So if she wins an Oscar, I'll definitely be happy for that. But yeah, like, there's a lot of really cool elements as far as the cinematography and the staging and production design. Like obviously Shakespeare had the Globe Theater. It's almost a theater in the round. It's a very small, tight, intimate space that they recreate towards the end. But there's so many scenes in their Stratford homestead and the forest around it that also look like they could be sets in a Shakespeare play. Like that's some really fantastic design there. And the film kind of plays out like a Shakespearean tragedy. You know they they had a daughter named Susanna first. There's some speculation about did they get married because she got pregnant kind of thing. And there's some melodrama with Shakespeare's mother, played by Emily Watson, and Agnes's brother, played by Joe Alwyn. Very solid supporting roles there. But then after that, she gets pregnant again, and she has twins. The titular Hamnet and excuse me, his sister, I believe her name is Juliet, which again appropriate. Um, but there's a whole subplot. Oh, sorry, her name's Judith. My mistake. Um, there's this whole subplot where again Maggie O'Farrell imagines that Agnes is very much a druid, like very natural and earthy and maybe there's rumors that she's the daughter of a forest witch, and she engages in all these type of activities. Like there's a whole big point that she has a falcon as a pet, and she has her first child in the woods in this chosen glen, and she reads people's palms and has these mystic predictions about things, and one of them is that she will have two people standing over her on her deathbed. Well, when she's having twins, like, well, that means there could be three. She has three kids, and that scares the crap out of her because like I was only supposed to have two children. Like, why is there a third? This is because you didn't let me give birth in the woods or something like that. And Judith is initially feared to be stillborn. She's revived, but she spends her childhood being kind of weak and kind of sickly. Whereas Hamnet, is this vibrant young boy, and he's super protective of his twin sister and all this stuff. And then the plague hits, and it's like, oh, Judith is not going to survive. So, but it's Hamnet who essentially offers himself up, in exchange. Again, very very Shakespeare tragedy drama there, and so he's the one who dies. None of this is spoiler information, just in case anybody's concerned. Like this is all front loaded information from the trailers and press releases and everything like that. And then it's about how they cope as individuals with that grief. Um, you know, Will goes off to London and has his theater work, and he eventually writes Hamlet, but Agnes is basically left alone in a house that just feels like a tomb to her. So that, and with Will gone, she's like, where is my support system? Where is my loving husband? Where is the family that I was supposed to have because I have lost my son? And and then it's eventually, he filtered his pain through to Hamlet. And one of the coolest things about this film to me, and this is one of the things I'm considering, because we have this new category for casting at the Oscars, brand new category this year. One of the most inspired casting choices I've ever seen. Hamnet is played by Jacoby Jupe, who's he's a young child actor. He's only had a couple of roles, but this is his biggest thing so far. But he's part of an acting family. His brother Noah Jupe is in the Quiet Place movies and Honey Boy. He came up as a child actor himself. In the first presentation of Hamlet as a play, Noah Jupe is playing the title role. So we're essentially like the idea is Hamlet is a tragic fantasy of what would have happened if my son had grown up. So you cast the two brothers to be different versions of the same character. That is brilliant. It's so subtle but so well done, and the whole cast gives solid performances. Like especially Jacoby. Like he has to shoulder a lot of emotional burden in this film, and he acts the hell out of it, well beyond what what someone his age should be capable of doing. Like this is not, here's a cute kid having hijinks. This is the emotional dead center of the film until he's literally dead. So like, and he just plays it completely straight, completely naturally. Like if you were in their shoes and you saw your kid going through this, like you would imagine this is how he would react to things. He would want to, take after his father. He would want to, learn to playfully sword fight. He'd be so fiercely protective of his sister. It it just rips your heart out because he's just so naturally good at it, and he's only like 11 years old. This is insane. But he's also spent his entire life learning from his brother. So like it feels so right. Like I don't know what the criteria are, or I should say the nominating criteria were for the casting director's branch when they nominated. I don't know if they were thinking like, oh, maybe a diverse cast, or maybe just the best actors we got, or maybe something creative. If it's for like creative casting, holy crap, this should be the front runner.
This is the BTRP Media Network.